Well, I've got to tell you guys, I came across something rather disturbing and disgusting today, and I want to share it with you guys because it's really just not sat right in my stomach, and I know it's not going to sit right in your stomach. And thankfully, I got a good night's sleep, thanks to Dream Beam here, by the way, one of my sponsors. But anyway, I am just blown away and left with the question, do they seriously want us dead? And I mean that, like asking the real question after what I saw. But as a quick reminder, I just want to tell you guys, make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. Click that sub button. YouTube has been removing people and things like that, just crazy stuff. So if you are subscribed, please also make sure that you go up to that all bell and have that checked so you're getting those notifications. But with that, let me take you to this leftist rag of a news source, Salon, which is what I saw this morning, because again, it's downright upsetting. Take a look at what I found, and it's here on Salon. Again, this is a radical leftist news source, and it's headlined, MAGA and Christian nationalism is a bigger threat to America than Hamas could ever be. Even Mitch McConnell is trying to push back against Mike Johnson and the MAGA lunatics, but it isn't working. Now, I'm going to read to you some excerpts from from their report there. And just to prepare you, it is disturbing. It is very, very disturbing. But again, I can't shake this feeling. Do they really want us dead and gone? Especially considering that they're writing this news report right after, not even a month after, what happened in Israel on October 7th, where over 1,000 people were killed by Hamas attacks, right? But take a look. Going back to that article here, here's what it says in the report. In the House, those would likely include newly minted House Speaker Mike Johnson, who took on Mitch McConnell directly, pushing to unlink aid to Israel from aid to Ukraine. While the world burns, Johnson and the MAGA wing of the Republican Party, which seems to have swallowed the evangelical movement while also embracing it, a T-1000 morphing into Sarah Connor is just about the right image. It is embracing the darkest verses of the Bible, apparently pushing for apocalypse with an enthusiasm only rivaled by Saul's slaughter of Christians before he changed his name to Paul. It goes on. The House of Representatives, now run by Johnson, offers a discount version of the apocalyptic organism the Holy Rollers have dreamed of for years. They've renewed the Inquisition and seem determined to convert the U.S. into a theocracy run by people who will thump you with the Bible but haven't read much of it. Lord, how they love to preach fire and brimstone, but the Sermon on the Mount and the Beatitudes, forget it. Matthew 25:40, whatever you did to one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Not a chance, he says. They've embraced only the Old Testament angry God and the apocalyptic parts of Revelation brought on by ergo poisoning. It gets worse. They want no separation of church and state. They want an isolationist country surrounded by walls and dedicated to the proposition that the First Amendment guarantees them a right to worship any way that they want, while forcing the rest of us to worship the way they choose. All of this is a big fat lie, but he keeps going and he says modern Republicans are hell-bent on returning to the Middle Ages lie, driven by their first Christian nationalist House Speaker. The First Amendment Establishment Clause prohibits the government from making any law respecting the establishment of religion. That not only forbids the government from establishing an official religion, but also prohibits the government actions that unduly favor one religion over another. And I agree with that amendment wholeheartedly, right? That's why we had it. That's why Christians and a lot of our founders made that rule in the first place. But he says, in conclusion, none of that matters to the Republicans, and they revel in their own chicanery. I told you, I told you this stuff would make you absolutely sick to your stomach, and I'm pissed off. I want to go back and kind of go over some of the stuff that he's saying here. He basically says Donald Trump and our new House Speaker are the ringleaders of this MAGA party, and somehow, specifically, he mentions Mike Johnson. He is somehow a worse threat than a terrorist organization, aka Hamas. Wait a minute now. Mike Johnson has never committed a crime that I know of in his life. I'm sure he's done minor stuff, who knows, but nothing publicly. And he's never committed an act of violence ever against anyone, as far as I know of. And that is also a majority of us here in America who support the president. None of us are for violence. None of us want any of that crap that you just lied about us on your entire little report there on Salon. It's lie after lie after lie. Let's start first with some of these laws. And he says, and I'm going to reference this because I really want you guys to see this crap that they're painting about us. He says that we, these MAGA, right Republican Party extremists, he says we want to embrace the darkest verses of the Bible. Apparently, we want to push for apocalypse, and we want to usher in all of this apocalyptic type stuff. Nobody wants the damn apocalypse. I sure the hell don't want it breaking out. I'd like to live as long as I can, So that's just a lie right there. And nobody wants the darkest verses of the Bible. You know, there's a lot of Levitical law that Jesus, when he came, he stood and he's like, that's not the way that we do things. You don't stone a woman or whatever. That's not the thing we want. I came and I died for the sins of all people. He even, who Mary Magdalene, when she was going to get stoned by the people in the city there for the crimes that she committed, having sex outside of marriage, Jesus stood in the gap for Mary Magdalene and was like, he who is not guilty, throw the first stone. I mean, nobody in Christianity, right? At least a majority of us, there might be some crazy idiot, one or two out there, who knows? I'm sure they exist, but we're not pushing for the darkest verses of the Bible. It's just BS that he's spouting out. But keep in mind, this is the picture that he is selling to an entire audience of people about who we are. And it's just not true. And it's a very scary place to be in. But he goes on to expand, and I'm going back over this, how we are holy rollers and we want to thump the Bible at everybody, which he accuses we haven't read. And we want to bring on the Inquisition. That's BS. Nobody wants that. And we love the Sermon on the Mount. This is one that we all practice. He is lying when he says not a chance. A lot of Christians are out there and they serve for the ministry of Christ. They go to homeless centers, they go help Red Cross and all of these things. We do a lot of stuff. But he goes back to say how we want to embrace the Old Testament angry God. Again, bringing in poison and revelation. It's not true, but he expands, right? We do not want a separation of church and state. That's not true either. As he mentions, right, we have a First Amendment here, and he mentions it here, that says the government cannot make any law, the First Amendment Establishment Clause prohibits the government from making any law respecting an establishment of religion. Amen. We should not make any law. We should not put any law in place that says Christianity is the official law, nor should it be Muslimism or Islam is the official law, or Jehovah's Witness is the official law, or Catholicism. None of it. None of it. There are laws against that for a reason. And our founders put that in the First Amendment for a reason. None of us are for that. Nobody wants Christianity to be forced on people. In fact, God is against that. If this guy even read the Bible, he would know that, but he didn't read the Bible. And the Bible clearly says that we don't force it on anyone. You don't force it. Why? Because that takes out choice. So even Christians, all Christians that I know of that are real Christians, are against that. We don't want it as some kind of established religion like this liar is lying about us. And we don't want them either to favor one religion over another. That's not the case either. We all have the beauty of being free and choosing whatever religion we want to be. If you want to be if you want to read the Quran, read the Quran. If you want to read the Bible, you can read the Bible. If you want to read the Apocrypha or whatever religion you want to be, I am all for it. You have that choice. You have the beauty to do it. And that is why we are a free country, and not like that of a lot of Middle Eastern countries where you're forced to follow things like Sharia law. These should not be established in countries whatsoever. So this guy is straight up lying, and he says that Republicans just revel in their own chicanery or whatever. I'm just sick of this. I mean, to sit there and say that the MAGA supporters and Christian types are a bigger threat to America than Hamas could ever be, it chills me to the core, and it really should you too. This guy is not doing anything other than spreading division, and he just said that you're worse and I'm worse than the atrocities committed in Israel by Hamas, by some people who did some very atrocious things in the name of war or whatever. I don't want war. I don't like war. And I sure the hell hate violence of any form. Yet this guy is going to act like we want to bring on the Inquisition and force Christianity to be rule of the law. It's lies and it's lies and it's lies. I mean, please leave comments. I'd love to see this stuff. And by the way, this comes on the heels of the report that I put out yesterday. And I just want to show this because I warned you that these attacks against Christians and conservatives and Republicans would increase once Psaki came out and said this. I said that literally a couple of days ago. Take a look. And even earlier on restrictedrepublic.com. I hope to God you're there. And I really mean that. The Western Journal, Jen Psaki, Speaker Mike Johnson, scary because he's a Christian. I'm not going to get into the details, but to paraphrase what happened there, she played a clip of Mike Johnson, and they're all going after Mike Johnson. Kind of strange, huh? But anyway, she played a clip of him saying that the Bible is his worldview and the Bible is what he leans on. And she says, wow, very arrogant of him. And, now you know what his worldview is. And that's scary because he has that worldview and borderline, if you will, dangerous because he has a Bible worldview and he wants, he has a moral standing. This is scary. It's like the book of Revelation is playing out right in front of our eyes. Now, here's the thing. I also warned about the fact that, Democrats, the lame thing about Democrats and mainly more on the left, the radical side of the left, is they push for all these censorship things against conservatives and Republicans. And they like the fact that the FBI is being weaponized. The DOJ is being weaponized. They speak nothing against it because their side is not being attacked, at least not yet. Right? This is what has been going on. This is what we see. We know the FBI is being politically weaponized by the Biden administration. That is what I see. That is what I believe wholeheartedly is happening. We're seeing it with Donald Trump. We're seeing it with multiple Republicans, and we're not seeing the same thing happening to Democrats. Not yet. Now, here's the kicker. I said this a while back. I said, maybe the Democrats are exempt now, but if you go against something as a Democrat that they don't want you to go against and you're a Democrat, they're going to come after you. You are who is next because they eat their own. They always do. And they use their own system against them when that certain Democrats piss them off, right? This just happened to Eric Adams, Mayor Eric Adams. And I'm going to show you this. And by the way, before I show you the clip, does that mean I like Mayor Eric Adams and agree with all the things he said? Absolutely not. Nope, not whatsoever. This is just an example of how the Democrats are eating their own when they don't like something that they've particularly done, right? Take a look here. This is on CNN. Mayor Eric Adams being one of those. Mayors meet with senior White House officials over the migrant influx on Thursday, right? So that was the original plan. The plan by Mayor Eric Adams suddenly got canceled, right? New York City Mayor Eric Adams cancels Washington, D.C. trip where he was due to discuss asylum seeker crisis. You see, suddenly he cancels the trip. See, what is one thing that Democrats don't like other Democrats to talk about? The border crisis. Oh, how dare you? You're messing up all those voters coming in at the border. You're messing up our entire system here. How dare you, Mayor Adams, speak against this crisis and keep speaking against the crisis because he hasn't shut up about it. Why? Because I believe his city, his citizens of New York, they're pissed off about all these, and he keeps getting letters from his own people. And so now he's stuck in a rock and a hard place. So what happens? He cancels going to D.C. to DC. Why did he cancel? This is the kicker of the whole thing. New York City Mayor Eric Adams' campaign is now under FBI investigation for alleged foreign donation. And here's another one. New York Times: FBI raid of Adams' ally brings corrupting questions to his doorstep. Mayor Eric Adams has faced ethic issues for years. A raid of his chief fundraiser's home poses a serious threat. Whoa. They didn't like the fact that he was going to go to DC and speak out against this migrant crisis, and bang, just like that, there's an FBI investigation of, Mayor Adams' alleged foreign donations, and, his chief there gets raided, chief fundraiser gets raided. Oh, we told you not to speak out against that, Mr. Adams, and bang, we used our weaponized FBI to go after you. Now, is that what happened? That's my version of what happened. That's what I believe happened. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe, I think it's just a coincidence. Who knows? I'll leave that for you to decide, because it's awful skeptical to me. Again, that doesn't mean I agree with all the stuff Eric Adams says. Yes, I do agree we have an issue on our hands with the border. However, does that make him suddenly a good guy that's flipped to our side? Absolutely not. It is just the Democrats eating their own. You can see why I'm a little frazzled this morning. But anyway, wanted to bring all of that to your attention. But with that, please don't forget to check out my sponsor, and please make sure you guys go there, talk to him something, because things are really getting out of hand. Noble Gold Investments. But if you go to lisahavengold.com, you can go directly there, and they give you this guide that teaches you how to protect your investments against economic stabilities. It's free, by the way. Fill out this information, click Get It Now. They're going to send it to you. And on top of that, you can even get a free consultation. They don't charge you anything to call. Give them a call at the number below on the screen and let them know that I sent you, but talk to one of their investors because we are in financial and stable times. And if you're looking to have more stability in your financial future, then Noble Gold Investments is absolutely someone who can help you with that. They've helped me. They've helped my family. They've even helped friends and loved ones that I had. And especially with everything that's going on with the price of precious metals, gold, silver, those kinds of things. But please give them a call and talk to them. And by the way, they are giving away this 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin you see here on the screen. That's actually upside down there. But this thing is beautiful, as you can see, but they're giving that away with any approved plan. But please call them, especially if you have not gotten more solid ground financially, because we could be looking at wars real soon. And I mean, we've got tension with Ukraine, Russia, Taiwan, China, and now the Middle East. Please do something before the crap hits the fan with potential World War III. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks so much for being here. I really love every one of you. But I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.